All right, this is something that I've been saying for a long time. Anybody who's heard me rant about this 1,000 times over, even before I started talking about it on YouTube and the like, knows that I've been saying this stuff since I got back into Dead by Daylight in like 2021, 2022-ish, having left the community and the game for multiple years after launch, right? One of the biggest issues with this game and the developers is the major content creators, where the game itself has major problems that we know the solution to. People say what they want in the community, and they are ignored or talked down to by the big content creators or the people that watch the big content creators and parrot the same ideas. When 1% of your community is so unhelpful and such a problem to the health of your product, you have to remove them from your community. You have to stop giving them your attention. In this case, the biggest content creators are why we have ongoing issues with this game. And I'm going to justify this and I'm going to back it up, right? We know what the solutions to these ongoing issues are, right? We know that the health update that is supposed to come and has been delayed and canceled over and over again this year. We know what needs to be done to fix the anti-tunneling, the anti-camp, and the anti-slug, right? We know what we need to do to fix it. But we're not getting it because of two groups. Killer-only mains and the major content creators that keep pushing ideas and sentiments that get this delayed and canceled so many times. I think it's 3 years ago now, maybe 4 actually, when we had the first attempt at base kit anti-tunnel, anti-slug, right? We had that announced that it was going to happen. We didn't get it because people immediately bitched and complained. It has been multiple years since then, and we are now seeing it happen again, where every attempt is destroyed by these people. Now, when I have been saying this, right, the thing that I say is that the majority of the community wants this in the game now. We are sick of waiting. The people that deny that the Survivor players are leaving in droves clearly do not have any finger on the pulse for this game. They are thinking only of their experience and ignoring the reality of the situation, right? And here today, we see in the mid-chapter comment section, again, with this shit, where I have to point this out because all of these big content creators with their fucking tiny squirrel brains don't want to look at it, they don't want to talk about it, they want to push their bullshit onto you and make you suffer as a result, right? And I'm going to tell you what the solutions are later. But here we go, right off the bat. Yeah, we're starting at page 11. Because this is all of them. We're going to skip around. I'll pick random pages, and we will go to them, and I will show you that this is how this is working, right? People are pissed. Killer mains can go fuck themselves if they're complaining about this. Because the majority of the sentiment is, add the fucking anti-perk shit, right? We're sick of it. I'm getting very fucking heated because it's been multiple years of this shit. You dumbasses need to learn your fucking lessons. Watch. First one. Once again, Survivors received a nerf. At the moment, I've uninstalled the game and I won't return until proper anti-tunnel camp and slug measures are implemented or at least ranked mode is added. Anything but nerf Kaneki. Then we see finally some bug fixes. Shame it's not going to do anything, right? This guy who's just shitting and saying, I ain't reading all that. I don't understand why this fucking dickhead shows up and says anything. He's useless as shit. Get this guy the fuck out of here. Get your developers to go fuck something else up, because they're not listening to the community. They ask like they are, but they don't fucking care. Has never been a problem as killer. Even killer mains don't fucking address the problem. Like, we bring it up. I play both fucking sides, and I'm at the point where I'm probably gonna fucking quit again at the end of this year if this doesn't get fucking fixed by 2026. I'm sick of waiting. I'm sick of these problems going on. And I'm sick of the dumbass people in this community who just want to keep fucking adding this divide to shit. I don't see the point of reworking it. Don't remove its original purpose, right? Destroy the last good things. Even your killer mains are fucking sick of your bullshit. Even the killer mains are sick of the bullshit. I have to point this out. Because when even the players that are the big content creators pointing to people like this guy, Black Sheep 99, and saying killer mains are the ones most affected. They're the ones that are pissed off by these changes coming to the game. Clearly, it's not even fucking true. But we're going to keep listening to the major content creators, right? As always, useless developers. No anti-slug and tunneling. What are you guys doing? Do you even play your game? We know they don't fucking play their game. And they don't even play it well when they do play it. That's why they don't stream themselves playing it anymore. Because they got clowned on for being trash at it. And here we go again. Bone Daddy. Which I'm assuming playing it? Yeah, okay, of course he is. This is another thing. If you're gonna fucking hate this game and you're gonna say we're sick of the fucking changes, stop fucking playing it. Stop giving them your money. Stop giving them your time. But whatever, you know, maybe this is really what you want to do, and you're gonna give it another chance. I've done it with games before, and Dead by Daylight's one of those. People complaining that there are perks against camping, slugging, and tunneling, and saying that tunneling, slugging are part of the game are so dumb. Literally nothing a survivor can do if the killer wants to camp and tunnel. Fucking exactly what people have been saying. But killer mains point to people like this and say, you're wrong, fuck you. And I'm sick of having that be the case. Because the reality is, it's true. When you listen to the wrong people, you end up with bad things happening. This is why games like Overwatch were fucked. This is why games like Counter-Strike are fucked. This is why games are just constantly having issues when they go for this esports bullshit and they only listen to the wrong part of your player base. When you listen to the 1% of your player base that has major, like, streamers and like, high-level players, like your competitive players, you fuck your shit up royal. Because the majority of your player base are not them. Even if the majority of your player base watches them, they are not them. And that's why we're seeing these survivors leaving in droves. Because the killer mains and the fucking streamers do not represent the majority of your player base. The whiny bitches in your community should be ignored for the health of the overall game. And we will get back to that, and I will explain exactly what they need to do to fix it. And I think I even have a comment in this fucking thread where I say it. Imagine delaying content for nearly a year just to bring out 10% of the changes that was supposed to come. Need I say more? Years. This isn't even just nearly a year. This is multiple years. Thank you for another great update. You truly care about your game. Yeah, you deserve to win the Labor of Love Award. Sarcastic as fuck. Even the community is still doing this again this year, where we're looking at you fucking idiots over there at Behavior and saying, what is wrong with you guys? Like, you really don't deserve Labor of Love because you don't fucking care. You clearly don't like this game, so just either fucking let it die or fuck off with it. Because you're not doing the things you need to do as developers. And I am talking to you guys specifically at Behavior. If you see this video, fuck you. That's your goddamn product. You're a goddamn rock fucking munching, doorknob licking, fucking face on the windshield retard in the short bus. Do your fucking job. You goddamn idiots. Fuck you. I'm sick of it. Anyways. I think the anti-tunneling, we need to come back ASAP, but I understand your choice. Even when he's done shit posting in his own comment, he fucking says it right there. He outright fucking tells you, I understand why you did this. Do it anyway. That's basically what you can get from that. Not gonna lie, this update is an improvement. If they spend the next update maybe nerfing survivors a little, I can see this improving the game. Guy is a masterclass at fucking sarcasm. Because, I mean, TTV and name, so already I don't really like this guy. But I can grasp the sarcasm in that fucking comment. 4 months of work, new killer delayed, Skull Merchant rework canceled, and also we can see a camping bar. He's right. As much shit as people see the devs, it's nice to see they can see when changes don't work and are ready to go back on them. These are the people you're listening to. You see all of those? The majority of page 11 is people saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? But the developers listen to this. They see that and they say, yep, canceled, updates canceled. One person agreed with us. These are the people that push the bullshit. They peddle the bullshit of the big streamers. And those are the people you need to stop listening to, developers. These are your problems in your games. Let's go back exactly one page. Right, another TTV in name. And you know, we get this wall of shit, right? But basically, it's the long and short of this is talking about how shit is just broken, right? And you can read that on your own. But people are pointing out problems with the game and saying, like, what is going on? I don't understand. And we ask these questions and we bring this shit up and nothing gets fixed. I don't know what that last part is. Probably shit, but you're right. It is cringe that we're still doing this shit. Buff killer, nerf survivor, sarcasm. W update, sarcasm. I don't read this, so whatever. Give a new mode. Somebody being an idiot. Again, where's the shit you promised, behavior? Where's the shit you promised? Street pointing it out blatantly. I bet Survivor mains are so sad they aren't getting free wins anymore like in the PTB. Again, these are the people you're listening to. People that say bullshit like this are where you're getting your problems with this game. Let me guess, playing DBD? Playing DBD. Oh, look at that fucking playtime. Massive. But you listen to this guy. French honey toast, vomiting emoji. Yeah, I can agree with that sentiment, bud. I fucking hate this. Where this fucking, these developers go in the comment section and they act like they care. You fucking don't. Get the fuck out of here. You clearly don't care because you don't actually listen. You cherry pick who to respond to and what to respond to you. I've just got a game with 3 obsessions at the same time, bugged by daylight. People have been pointing out the bugs and the problems, and we're sick of it, right? But you listen to the 1 in 10 or 1 in 20 that says, yeah, I don't like this, right? This is a fucking horrible update. Thank you, Behavior Interactive. Please buff survivors. They should gain a permanent speed bonus after every hook. I can't agree with that. But the sentiment, I can. I mean, this is not a solution. This is a bad solution. But he understands there's a problem. It'll be back soon. Yeah, nobody... See, like I said again, cherry pick who you respond to. This is why the developers can't be fucking trusted. So, let me guess, playing DBD? Playing DBD! Of course you are! So, this is another one of the things that I want to point out, right? This is why I went back exactly one page instead of skipping around just yet. Where we are once again saying, oh, they're not talking about the real issue. But these are people who really don't actually understand game development and game design philosophy, right? And I can't blame them for not understanding it. Because a good game should just be good, and the player base shouldn't need to understand what's wrong with a game design philosophy when it's there. But when a game like Dead by Daylight does it exactly the opposite of the standard way of game design philosophy working, and they just consistently keep fucking it up, that's when people start just throwing out their ideas, and it's why you end up with problems. And like I said, we will get to the actual solution. We will get to the root of what actually needs to be done and why. and what matters about it, right? But we're going to read this, right? I really think that the devs aren't hearing the real issue. I agree, but I don't think you have the right idea. They add changes to the PTB that no one wants in order to address the symptoms of a deeper-rooted issue. I don't fully agree, but I don't disagree, right? You're not wrong yet, but you will be wrong in 3 seconds. The game revolves around toxicity. No. You've lost the plot. What is considered being good at the game requires players on both sides to be toxic. Incorrect. Incorrect entirely. And the reason it's incorrect is because it instantaneously assumes that the only strategy that should be done is the meta strategy of right now. Of right now. If it's not good now, it's wrong. You shouldn't do it. And if it's not good now, then it's not toxic. But if it's meta and it's good now, it's toxic and bad. Incorrect, right? Want to be a good survivor team? Play toxic, gen rush, sabo flash, saves, and use perks to make loops annoying and sometimes almost impossible to win. Wrong answer. You don't have to do that. You can be a great survivor team and do none of those things. You can. It's absolutely possible. You don't have to do things with saves to be a good team. You can just have a build with faster healing speed. But you don't seem to acknowledge that, right, Hex Menace? Because you don't do it and you don't understand what you're talking about. Sure, you probably have, what, almost 2,000 hours or over 1,000? Over 1,000. But you still seem to not understand everything about the game. I have every single DLC and thousands of dollars in outfits, right? But, at the same time, I don't use these strategies. I don't use Gen Rush anymore. I don't use Sabos. I don't use Flashes. I don't do anything to do with loops, either. I use, I think it's fucking Overcome. I use, what is it? Overcome, Botany Knowledge. I'm blanking on what my actual build is. Deja Vu, I know, is in there, and I forget what the fourth one is. But it's such a fucking shitter kind of build, where it's just trash by most people's standards, and yet, it's actually really fucking good, and it has none of the things in it. But the more that we get these updates, where they keep just taking away the anti-slug, the anti-camp, and the anti-tunnel, right? The worse this build becomes, because it's the more that playstyle is now incentivized. Because what people see is, and they hear when it's said, we're adding this to the game. The players that do that strategy notice that that doesn't get actually added, and now they are more incentivized to keep doing it. That's why I basically stopped playing at this point. And I'm soon to just uninstall. This isn't like an 80 gigabyte game that I could spend that storage space on something fucking else, right? Anyways. Want to be a good killer? Kill efficiently. Use perks to pressure gens while focusing on 2 survivors to get them out quickly. Or play the Sabo team, or outplay the Sabo team and slug them all. Not the toxic playstyle. Slugging is, yes. But perks to pressure gens? No, that's normal. That's what the build should be, is pressuring gens. That's what perks are meant to be, and we'll get to that. Right? Done correctly, all these toxic gameplay mechanics that people whine about are actually just a good player team doing what they're supposed to do in order to win and get the best outcome. This is wrong, and we're going to get back to it, right? And this has been on screen long enough that if you want, you can read the rest of this shit yourself, right? But the problem is, it's just not, it's not correct. And I will get to this in a minute, right? But let's skip around. Let's go to the first page, and this is for a good reason, right? Because what I want to say is the first comment from 5 hours ago, right, points out one of the biggest... All my shit's falling down. Oops. Right while I'm recording, too. Right? But this points out the biggest issue that the game has had for a long time now. Where even people that play the game just say, they just straight up say, just this game sucks, and they don't recommend it to people. And they say, don't fucking play this. It's an abusive relationship that people have with this game, and that's exactly what it is. It's like an abusive ex that I keep going back to. Stop adding unnecessary changes. I wholeheartedly fucking agree. Fix the core problems with this fucking game. This guy is the people that they are fucking listening to. 4 jesters. 4 of them. The people that say these things, where it's like, this is a good change, we don't want the tunneling and slugging, are getting the jester emojis. The people that are shit posting get the good emojis, right? The shit posters get the good ones. The people are speaking, you are not listening. Look. Big block of text saying the same thing as this guy, right? We don't want it. 13 jesters. 13. The people that are dick riding for this removal are getting the jesters, right? The people that are shit posting, the exact opposite. Shit posters, the exact opposite. People that are just pointing out, like, the changes that they like. No problems. Not getting anything for it. Update that changed literally nothing. Jester emoji and a poetry, right? Negative. How many hours you got? 1100. Go figure. Bring back Styptic. Positive. Right? Syringe rework is terrible, otherwise decent update. Positive. Ban this guy. Just fuck that guy in particular, I guess. Right? Let's go to a random one. 4. There we go. Yes, you're a handsome behavior. That's what the survivors needed. Good job. The sarcasm is so heavy. Why did you nerf survivors? This is the least tolerable. Why did you remove these changes? People are pissed. When will the killer role get a direct buff? How about adding anti-tunneling rewards from the... I give up. I'm not pronouncing that. 4 killers. That would reduce tunneling, make the game more fun for both roles. Excellent fucking point. Once again, how about you incentivize not doing it instead of punishing for doing it, right? It's a good point. Could do that. There is some logic to be had there, and I can agree. But the sentiment of that is, once again, add the fucking patch already. This guy's just complaining that there's map problems, right? I repeatedly told the devs to remove the garbage palettes, and once again, Styptic is now pure trash, right? People complaining about the changes and saying, hey, we've been talking about this for years, what the fuck? It's still a problem, right? Why did you nerf survivors? Least delusional survivor after base kit buffs. We didn't get base kit buffs. But it's like, shut the fuck up. We didn't get it. This skull merchant rework, are you guys... Oh. People still bitching about the skull merchant still. Very funny, right? 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Exactly the sentiment, right? The game is right the way it is. People complaining you're just bad at the game. No, you're just an idiot. And apparently this guy doesn't even have any playtime because it's not even showing. I guess. You get base kit buffs. Titled it. That's funny. That's funny. Piece of shit though. Anyway, I'm just fucking doing this, right? So let's go. Now we don't need to go to 5. Yep, this is broken. Excellent patch. Like, the sarcasm is real with this, right? We can do this all day. I don't speak this. This guy is 100% right, though. Because people do absolutely say, oh, it's dead, it's fucked, and then they play it again anyway. And, of course, once again, these are the people that the developers are listening to. Guy makes a valid point. What's the point of unhook buffs if you still have garbage pallets on maps, you can't win, and if you have bad ping, there's dead zones that still exist. I just don't want to play a Survivor anymore. This is exactly what I'm saying, right? A lot of people are saying the same thing. A lot of people are saying it, right? Over and over and over and over again. Add the update, right? Let's pick a random one. Let's go, I don't know. Were we on 7? No. Okay, well, here's my comment. But once again, I said the fucking truth. And what did I say about saying the truth with this game? If you say the fucking truth, and it's a fucking Survivor positive take, it seems like you get a lot of rewards. Also, stop giving me this shit! I have over 1.3 million! I didn't spend them fast enough! It's a serious problem! Stop it! I spend enough money on Steam every year. I don't need your points too! Jesus! And yes, I'm mad about this. I'm getting really fucking sick of it. Stop! Anyways, this is where we're going to talk about it, right? And we'll skip around and I'll show that I'm not lying. It's literally, even up to now, up to the minute, we're getting these comments where survivors and majority of the player base is saying, add the fucking update. I need to be careful about slamming my table because I'm going to knock my drink over. Yes, I'm going to say it. Pepsi's better than fucking Coke. Stand behind it. It's not just because I like Mountain Dew. Anyway. Earlier in the day, this guy said this, right? You need to add a better tutorial and a ranked mode if you want to hear better feedback. You can't balance a game if you can't teach your players a single thing about how they did or how they can hold your own against these unfair killer tactics. All these complaints happen because they are never taught how to utilize second chance perks, which is why people leave the game and think, oh, tunneling and camping and slugging is unfair, which is why there is literally perks and support items to counter it. I can agree. We do need a better tutorial in the game. But once again, this is what's wrong with the community, right? And this is where that game design philosophy thing comes into play. People do not understand what perks are actually supposed to do, right? Base kit is not meant to be in addition to perks. Perks are meant to complement base kit. That's how proper game design philosophy works. Modifiers, which are your perks, modify how the base works, which is your base kit mechanics. Right? So here's a good example, right? If you want a player's base healing speed to be average, right? Like, let's say this is just generalizing for the sake of things, right? Let's say healing as a player takes 10 seconds total. If you use a med kit, which is a modifier, let's say it cuts it by half, right? Now it's 5 seconds. A different modifier, which is going to be our perks in this case, let's say like botany knowledge, right? Drop it by another half. 50%, 50%, that's 75%. Now your healing speed is 2.5 seconds, right? For that, right? Once again, not the actual numbers, but that's how that works. Modifiers impact base. The problem with anti-slug, anti-tunnel, and anti-camp not getting added to the game is that the base needs to be in the spot where you want things to be. Modifiers impacting base. People want and need to be able to interact with the game at all times. The problem with the game is that when you allow slugging in any capacity, it is abusable. We need the change to prevent the abuse, right? So what you do to solve the problem is you add an anti-slug and tunnel and camp as base kit, and the perks modify that. That's how you fix the problems, right? That's how proper game design works. But in the case of Dead by Daylight and the Behavior Interactive, we listen to the wrong people who say, use perks, use perks, use perks. Perks are meant to fix this. Wrong answer. Perks should modify, not solve. Right? When perks and modifiers are your solution to an existing problem, the existing problem persists for people that do not use the modifiers. Teaching and telling people who use modifiers is a problem. Why is it a problem? Because when a person doesn't use them, they are locked out of that solution entirely by no faults of their own, right? Because here's the thing. A killer can just not do it. A killer can just not do it, and there's no problem. And then the survivor that brings those perks that would modify that situation and make it so they can't be tunneled, can't be slugged easily, right? Doesn't impact them in the slightest. Yes, it's a useless perk, right? It's dead. They go from, let's say they use one of those, 4 slots as an anti-tunnel, anti-camp, or anti-slug, right? Well, they still have 3 other perks that work just fine. But the problem is that if a survivor brings none, like when I play, I don't bring those things, right? So if I bring nothing, I am punished for the off chance that a killer does do that horrible behavior of slugging me for 4 minutes straight. Proxy camping, which we're just going to call camping, you can stand exactly 16 meters away and stare at me, and I'm unsavable. Right? Still camping, but the game no longer treats it that way because we have a 16-meter radius where if the killer's not in it, you don't gain anti-camp, right? The problem is, if I bring nothing, I am punished by no faults of my own for something that a killer can choose not to do. I can't choose not to be slugged or camped in a match. My only recourse is to bring a modifier. When base kit is available to fix, modifiers should address existing expansion. It should not be the expansion, right? That's how that works. Modify the base. When there's a problem, modifiers are not your solution. They should not be the solution, right? So, we're going to read through exactly what I said here. And it's been on screen long enough, you could have read it if you wanted. You're looking at the game in such a backwards way. You're treating perks as though they should be the solution to every problem, a literal get-good solution. Any other PvP game adjusts mechanics and uses their guns, abilities, etc. as modifiers. I do not get why the argument of just run X perk is even being used when it's such a blatant spit in the face of anyone who grasps basic game design concepts and can see what's wrong with forcing players to use something. That's literally why certain perks are never used. So no, I can't agree that survivors should either run 4 anti-slug, anti-camp, anti-slug perks, or it's their fault for getting tunneled and slugged and camped out of the game. Because that sentence right there is what's being said here. You didn't teach the players to bring these perks, so they didn't bring the perks, so they are fucked as a result. Instead of just making it so they don't need those perks. Right? So, as I said, if the base kit is where you want the game state to be, modifiers can be used. They change how things work, right? That's how it should be, right? Here's an example, right? A killer wants to be able to slug effectively. There should be a perk that makes the slug more effective and counters the anti-slug of the base kit rather than just doing nothing, right? Instead of negative reinforcement, add positive reinforcement. That's how it should be, and we've seen people, as I've said, who bring that up. Let's go for an eye on it. Killers, by your logic, should only ever be running slowdown or insta-down builds. They shouldn't bother with anything like Hag Trapper, late-game builds, since players can just do gens. They shouldn't play any M1 killers or run aura perks, since they're not the most effective option. This is the point. People say, this is meta, this is what works, fuck you, it's base game as it is now, so it should not be changed. This is stupid. The solution is base kit abilities, always has been, always will be. It's regressive to continue pretending that the state of the game is healthy and that all it needs is a better tutorial and for survivors to run very specific perks. That's the exact opposite of what anyone with basic game design experience would say. Right? And you'll notice that, for the most part, people continue saying the same thing. Young devs that are destroying their game, pretty good job. As a reminder, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about this. This is just talking shit on other people for no reason. Right? And this is another thing where I responded to this guy, right? The lessons are not being learned, right? They're not being learned. We had a thing earlier this year, and I'm going to leave this on screen, but we're not going to read all this, but basically, we had a thing earlier this year where haste was getting a rework. Everybody looked at it and said, this is fucking dog shit. And we all explained why the fucking problem existed. And they rightfully said, okay, there's a lot of pushback, and this is the one time that I will give props even to the big content creators, because even they said it was a problem. Because everyone agreed it was a problem. Not just a tiny fraction of the community was being listened to, everyone was. Even if in reality they were just listening to this instead of this. We know that's what was happening, because we've seen it with this too, right? But we're doing it again, where it's like, oh fucking Christ, we're fixing this syringe now so that it's, you know, it's basically, you know, it's just infinitely good. There's no downside to running it, right? It's so good that it can be abused. This is why modifiers are so dangerous. Because when a modifier is too good, it's impossible to correct for the other side. Because you have to have a balance between these things. But behavior's terrible at balancing. Dog shit at it. I even say it. They are dog shit at balancing. Anyways. This guy's being serious. Once again, please remove Ghoul and nerf killers harder. Positive thing applied. They're trying to make fools out of us. I don't see the changes. Positive. This is funny, but dumb. Right? Again, people are speaking. Why are certain people not listening? Thank you for the update, devs. Gonna take a look later and see if the changes helped against camping and trolling. That's bad news if you're serious, because no. He knows that that's not true. This guy buffed this guy. Absolute dog shit. He's 100% right. Can you revert the changes? And he says, oh, this is the second time. Wrong! It's the third time! Because some of you don't remember when they did it like 3 to 4 years ago, right? A clown. Very funny. Right? I'm not asking for insane buffs. Just changes to encourage the killers to spread the hook states. Right? This guy's being real. And you know what? He got rewarded with points for it. Because again, the community is speaking. Bad things are being applied to people who disagree. People who say, add the fucking changes, positive reinforcement is being applied, right? Kill switch the game. He's shitposting, but he's right. It's funny. Get rid of this shit. Nobody wants it. Here we go. Once again, a killer main. Positive reinforcement given to this guy's statement. We agree. In fact, you know what? I'll go out of my way. Where is it? Take my points, bud. I wasn't lying. I have more than I could possibly spend. This is this guy earlier that we said, oh, they're adding these fucking things, right? As a killer main, with 2,000 hours mostly on killer, if you need to do this, you are just bad. He is right. You don't need to do it. You don't need to. Like I said, even killer mains are sick of this shit. They're sick of the narrative, and people are speaking, but we're being ignored. Right? Let's do this again. Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. I had a long one. But, while I don't encourage it, the problem is most B-tier killers below struggle, and survivors bring the best perks, along with the most insane amounts of pallets. You're going to bet they're going to resort to any amount to win. And I agree! But you know what the actual solution is? Base kit changes. And I'll talk about this in a minute here, but base kit changes does not just apply to survivors. The base kit changes for killer are easy and obvious to understand. Big issues, blood point bonuses, and killer queue times. He's right. But anyway, let's go see if we can find my comment. But once again, developer cherry picking doesn't want to address the actual comments people are making. 4 months. I think we were actually on this page already. We were on this page already. Awesome update. He's shit posting. Yeah. He's being honest here. Hey, so Hunters can throw hatchets and hit multiple people at the same time? How did that happen? Oh my fucking god! You idiots couldn't even fucking just not break... Huntress wasn't even in the patch and you broke her, apparently. Jesus! They were never working on another lie from behavior. He's right. Anything to benefit killers and screw survivors. He's right. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to give you an award too, bud. I'm going to give you an award too. Fuck it. Everybody gets rewards today. Very nice. Can't wait to try RIP DBD. Okay, yep, you get a reward. Fuck you, that's funny. This deserves a clown badge. You know what? Fuck you. I didn't like that TTB guy, but like, fuck you. You're right though, he does deserve a clown badge. He is a clown. Twins are intolerable to face. You know what, you get one too. Fuck it. Everybody gets one today. So you can see I'm burning through my points as fast as I can, it doesn't matter. Here we go. They already nerfed gen speeds. It's more fun for survivors to creep around or even get into a chase, but we're forced to sit on gens because of the increased time to complete a gen. He's right. You know what? Fuck it. You get a reward again. I think I rewarded you earlier, but you get another one. You know what? I'll give you one too, because you're 100% fucking right. I'm trying to burn my points, and look at that. I'm barely making a dent. But, let's go forward one. Can I find my fucking post? Jesus, I'm still not seeing it. Maybe they put the mid. Okay, yeah, you're funny. You get one. You get points, and you get points. Call me Oprah Winfrey out here. Please uninstall the game. You know what? You have TTV in name, but you're fucking right, though. I'll give you points, too, bud. I'll give you points. You guys broke co-op. You know what? Fuck it. You get points again. I know I just rewarded you, but fuck it, you get again. Alright, anyway. Where the fuck is... Okay, here it is. So, this guy, I don't remember what page he said this on, right? But he said all this, and he said, you know, hey, 102.11 and comment 98 describes it pretty well, right? This is basically the same thing that I said already. Ooh! Oh, I agree with you, bud. We'll get to this guy in a minute. You can tell I haven't been to this page. Oh, what? They only received 1.6 thousand? Yo! Out of the 4,800, they only get 1.6? I'm only just now reading this. That's sad. I wish I could give 2, but I don't think I can. Can I give 2? How many can I give? No, I can only give 1 at a time. I could give him every single one, but certain ones have connotations to them. I'm not about to do that. But anyway, he basically says, you know, like, they're doing the opposite and making these changes that nobody fucking cares about, right? And it's right. This is, I'll leave this on screen. You can pause. I encourage you to pause and read it, and you can see that, yes, I'm saying the same things over and over and over again, right? But Jesus Christ, we got to address this, because he's right, though. This is the epitome of, we didn't listen to the community, but we pretend like we did. How many 1-hour YouTube video breakdowns do people do, like OTS or in competitive DBD, before it takes consideration the public opinions? Here's the thing, though. OTS is another one of the people, and I don't watch him that much anymore, just every once in a while when he pops up in my feed, because YouTube likes to throw me this shit, right? Because they know that I make content on it, and they know that I try to keep my finger on the pulse, right? OTS says the same things. He is another one of the people that is out here saying, don't add the change. Don't do it. That's the boiled down version of what OTS does too. Because they all do it. I don't understand it. Right? So, their data and gameplay endless hours gotta matter somewhere. You're wrong. Because their opinion always seems to match up with what ends up happening. Which is we don't get the change. I don't think this guy actually watches these people. Ooh, he's playing pretty derby. Nice. But, you know, when the big content creators are the ones you listen to, as I said, we're doing this instead of this. But these big content creators, even OTS, are the ones that are why we're not getting this stuff. Because that's who they listen to. So I can't agree with this first part. But this I do agree with. Because again, the majority of the community, even this guy, is saying, add the fucking changes! And we're ignoring people like this. We're ignoring people like me. We're ignoring the majority of the community. As you can see, it's still happening. Where's the MMR adjustments that were promised? We're fixing maps and fixing palette densities. They all feel worse. It's not being fixed. It's not being fixed. All this stuff is not being fixed. Right? Great, we can get any new survivors and killers. We got bugged out balance changes. You're right, bud. But like I said, the majority of people are saying this stuff. I don't want to play this game anymore. Get some points. Anti-type, anti-can't be cannibal, say what? You're right, though. You get some points. Everybody gets some points today. Handing out like candy on Halloween. You've heard of most of the stuff that you attempted to adjust in the first place. Nothing in terms of this. Double exhaustion doesn't win the game. Blah, 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 blah. Point is he's saying the same thing. These people are saying the same thing over and over and over. This guy's a fucking clown. Okay, he's shitposting though. That's sarcasm. I just now realized I was about to fucking give him a clown, but no, he's shitposting. You can tell because of this one. This part, if you just read that, it almost seems like he's serious. But then you read this, and you can tell this is sarcasm. This is true. You know what? I agree. Bots are fucking dog shit. You get an award. But, like, here's the thing. Your Steam points can't be this low. Nah, but yours probably are. So here, get a top up, bud. Get topped up. Points Daddy's here for you. Points Daddy's here for you, bud. I am here for you. You will get your points. They've ruined this game and I just don't care. Get some points. I agree. They ruined this game and I kind of want to not care, but I can't. They won't stop. You know what? Fuck it. I agree. They're never going to make these changes. They're never going to do it. Let's see. Let's go to page 17, because earlier I said we'll go here. We'll see what's being said. Skillish. I do love that as just the only reply. But, unfortunately, this guy's a fucking clown. But, I don't know. Yeah, I agree. Go play other games, man. Just go play other games. Because behavior clearly doesn't want you to play. Ranking, play technique by their importance to the community. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. This could be bad, but I'm seeing here that he agrees. The most problematic playstyle, counter perks. Wicked, shoulder the burden, reassurance, decisive strike. Yeah, okay, so he's going fucking perk by perk as to what to use. Right? But here's the thing, right? And I'll leave this on screen so everybody who wants to read it can read it, right? The problem is, why are we using the modifiers to fix the base instead of base adjusted by modifiers? We are doing this still where we are having this problem where we are still treating the modifiers as the proper solution to the problem, which, as I said, is not proper game design. In fact, I agree with this guy's analysis so much. What's the next highest that I can give? Is it really Golden Unicorn? I guess it is. Well, that's fine. I'll give him both. It's a shame that it's such a low return rate for him, though. Are you playing this? God damn it, you are playing it. I love how I can always just guess that they're probably playing Dead by Daylight. Yeah, something takes the cake for the worst. Yep, you're right. It does. It's probably the worst thing they've ever done. Because they keep spitting in our faces and acting like we should be happy. When you done with the pallets. Let's go. Let's see what he says. Are you special needs? Oh, shit. You know what? Nah, you know what? If that last guy got 2, you get 3. You get 3. Just for that part alone. Actually, no, it's Fancy Pants. No, Clever is higher. So we'll give you Clever too. And did I skip out of it on accident? No, I gave it to you. Okay. You know, you get Golden Unicorn. That guy got 2 for his take, but that insult alone is worth it. Killer mains when they can still tunnel and slug. You're playing it, aren't you? Yeah, of course he is. He's playing it. Of course. You know what? Fuck it. You get 1. You get 1. That's a good take, but hi, I'm main killer. Okay, you know what? You do get Jester though. Somebody was getting Jester. Looks like it's you. So if we fucking update this, as you've seen, people are still saying it, even in the most recent stuff from 6 minutes ago. If I update this, is there going to be a new one? Bet there is. No, there's not. But like I said, right? People are still saying it. I've addressed what the changes we need to make are. I've said it pretty clearly, and we're still seeing people bringing it up like, hey, add the changes. Add the changes. I'm a killer main, and I think you should add the changes. And as I said, that's what's going on. Now, I've just been rambling and fucking around now at this point, but I'm very heated. I'm passionate about this. Because it pisses me off to no end that this is still a conversation that needs to be had. Because the solution is right fucking there. It's so obvious. I'm knocking shit over, even over there, by slamming on this table, apparently. I don't know fucking how, but apparently I am. Like I said, like, at what point are we just gonna do it? At what point are we just gonna add the fucking patch, right? Anyways, that's really all I gotta talk about today. So, das vidanya, arrivederci. Fuck out of here.